What's going on, guys? So you guys just purchased your first pair of inline skates, or maybe just a new pair of inline skates, and they look dope, but you got one problem: they hurt. I've been in that situation before and it kind of sucks, but don't worry, we're gonna look at how to fix that problem in today's video. Alright, so before we do anything, we want to make sure those skates are properly put on your foot. So what that means is you're kicking that heel down so it's flat against the bottom and back against the back of the heel area, as well as pulling that tongue up when you cinch those laces or those straps up, making sure that tongue is up and flat, not getting all bunched up in the boot. And then also when you're doing the straps, make sure the straps are actually covering the correct way, because sometimes in some boots, if you're putting the wrong cuff part underneath the strap, it can actually push against the boot and then the liner, which can create hot spots. And the last thing is the insole. Make sure the insole is not kind of rolling up on the side. Make sure that insole is flat against the bottom of the boot. It can really hurt your arch if it's kind of rolled up against the side or too far forward for your toes or too far back. This is just a really good practice to be getting into, is just making sure that you are putting your boot on the correct way every single time before each and every skate session. So the next step, if you put your foot in the boot and strapped up, pulled that tongue up, did everything to make that boot fit your foot correctly, you really shouldn't be feeling too much pain. It might be a little tight. That's actually a good thing. Every single one of my skates that I have purchased, really the first few skates or sessions that I go out on my new skates, they're not comfortable. They don't feel good. Just realize skates are not shoes. Shoes are comfortable to walk in. They have extra room, but skates don't fit and are not supposed to fit like shoes. You want a skate to fit as tight against your foot without being painful, because you want to have that transfer of the motion that your foot is moving directly into frames and wheels, so that the skate will do exactly what you want it to do when you want it to do it. So that being said, I would take your skates out for at least a few good hard sessions. Even if they're uncomfortable, I would try to skate through that pain to a certain extent, because skates really have a break-in period, and that break-in period really needs about 8 to 12 hours of skate time. I know that's not what you wanted to hear, but skates can take time to really almost mold and adapt to your foot. That being said, if you have already skated for quite a few hours on them and you're just feeling these like pressure points or hot spots, at that point, you might want to start looking to what's called heat molding. So what heat molding is basically taking that hard shell of the boot and pushing out or remolding those small spots that you feel are pressing on your foot in an uncomfortable way. To do this, what we're gonna do first is we're gonna, with our skates on, we're gonna tighten them all down, and you're gonna take some tape. It can be any kind of tape. Take little like squares of it off, and we're going to basically just feel kind of about the areas that are pressure points or hot spots, and we're just gonna put the tape in those areas on the boot. After you got those hot spots marked out with those pieces of tape, go ahead and take your skates off, remove the liners. And then get your heat gun out. You can get these heat guns at any hardware store or online on Amazon. I recommend going for the cheaper ones. They range from about $20 to $30. The more expensive ones are a little too powerful. The cheap ones are more than enough. But that being said, some people might say, oh, just use a hairdryer. I've tried hair dryers and they just don't work great. Totally recommend spending the $20, $30 and getting yourself a proper heat gun to do boot molding. So we're gonna plug that heat gun in, turn it on. Once it's warm, ready to go, we're gonna take our boot, take the heat gun, do some slow circles in the areas that are places that we want to do work on. Make sure you do small circles, because you don't wanna just sit that heat gun in one spot for too long. You don't wanna overheat the shell. Very important, never touch the end of the heat guns on the shell, or else you will melt that plastic like instantly. I always try to keep the heat gun about 1 to 2 inches away from the actual shell itself, and just let it slowly heat up and warm up till it's pliable. Once you have that plastic of the shelf pliable enough, you're gonna wanna grab a screwdriver and just a soft like hand towel or cloth. What we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap that cloth around the end of that screwdriver handle just for some soft padding. And we're just gonna push it into the boot, into the area that we've heated up. And we're just gonna slowly roll it around and push on that plastic, bumping that plastic out, making a nice little space that we need in the boot for our foot. Again, go slow, do a little bit at a time. Once we've done that, go ahead and put your liner back in, put your foot on, tighten it back up, and give it a feel. Has it expanded, and is it enough? It might be. If it's not and it still hurts, go take the liner back out and just repeat that heating process over again. Quick note, this heat molding process is really only meant to fix small hot spots in the boot. It is not meant to reconstruct the whole boot and push it out and make it a different size and shape. If that's what you need, if you have so much hot spot and pressure everywhere on your boot, you got the wrong size boot, or you got just a boot that's completely not the right shape for your foot. So before you go in molding stuff, use your best judgment to see if like, okay, there's just a few hot spots that I can work with, or is it just pain everywhere in the boot? Then you have the wrong skate and you should send them back and get something else. But yeah, that's how you heat mold a boot. If you guys have any questions on how to heat mold your boots that I missed in this video, or I just kind of didn't go into as much detail as you would liked, please leave that question in the comments below. I'd be happy to respond to you. If you guys enjoyed this video or learned something from it, please give me a like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you ring that bell so you don't miss any of these uploads. And until next time, guys, just keep rolling.